Alrighty, good morning everybody. It's Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened here yesterday. If you guys recall, in our pre-market broadcast, there was one main level that we finished our broadcast out talking about, and that was this level right here at 58.39, right? And I told you guys I didn't put it as an official level on the news report, but there is, that is an important line in the sand here. If the bears could pull price back below 39, then we had some clues that there was going to be a retest of last week's low. However, if the bulls defended from there, that was a good sign that maybe we were going to get the recovery back up to all-time highs. Now, the caveat to that is we needed to see price really get through 58.91 up here, and which did not end up happening, but it did happen last night in the overnight session. They came right to 58.91 and failed from there. So basically, the low of the day yesterday was the very level I warned you to keep an eye on. Add it to your chart if you wanted to see what would happen. So let's take a look and see what happened here. Right out of the open, we have a hold a couple seconds before the market opens right off the back end of our roadmap level at 53.5, right? So you can see in the overnight session, they came and bounced right off of it to get whatever that was, maybe a 5-point bounce. And then right out of the open here, when we were coming into the open, you could see the bulls were having trouble right off that next roadmap level. And that's exactly where, if you took that short, you basically got in with no risk, and hopefully you took some profit in front of 45 and in front of 39 there, understanding that that could be an important barrier for the bears. So great opportunity there just before the open. Get short off 53, get yourself a nice 10-15 point push to the downside right to 39, where we found the low of the day. Now there was a nice bullish divergence on that peak below there, right? So we got a nice peak below 39 with a bullish divergence, and then that started this beautiful push to higher prices. So on the way up there, you did not get your first tag at the 200, right? Didn't quite turn into a good trade there. That's because we found all this bullish support and they decided to go ahead and push this, right? So no dice on that if you try to short off the first test of the 200. But on the way up here, you can see on the pullback, basically defending right from that roadmap level at 45, ducked through it and then held. And then there we get our first tag of the 200 on the upside, where if you grabbed it from there, you took on no risk and you got yourself 20 points or more to the upside, probably way more than that, 20, 30, 40 points. So great opportunity there. On the way up, notice what happens here right around our roadmap level. They come into it and we get a double top and a failure, and then it holds from the 200, then comes right up to our next roadmap level, previous daily low, or arguably to the tick, 50% of last week, where we get another decent little pullback, but the bulls defend and continue to push. And for a little while there, right around 50% of last week and the previous daily low, we kept chopping and chopping and chopping till finally the bulls continued in that direction there and pushed us right to, what do you know, the next roadmap level, where we then found some resistance again with a nice peak above and fail bearish divergence setup, where if you took a short from there, you took on less than 2 points of risk and you got yourself a nice 10-point pullback, a little bit more than 10 points right back to the previous daily low. So pretty good opportunities there. Again, if you tried to buy the 200 there, should have known that we had two other relevant levels close by. Might have been smart to try something in the middle there. If you did, again, very, very limited risk, and you got yourself a 10-point bounce to the upside. From there, we see that the market kind of petered out for a little bit before the next push. And notice where that dividing line was, where we found all the support. What do you know? Hold the orange power level here. As we get up through it for the second time here after that first one, we then hold and hold and hold and hold and hold. So a bunch of great buy opportunities, including that right there, the first test of that 200 after the breakout, pulling back to the hopeful. So good opportunity there for, again, maybe a 5, 6, 7, 8 point push. Hopefully taking profit right in front of the roadmap level where you would have nailed the high, right? So some great opportunities. Unfortunately, right there, we took on a little bit more risk. We were 62, we came down to 59. So there's a 3 point push through, but then we held, came up. What do you know? And it's like a stair step up levels. It's a stair step down levels. So we tagged into the previous 50% of yesterday, and then we came up and came right to the next roadmap level, even though it was just a couple points away. In fact, in this case, just less than 2 points away. They come right to that, and that becomes our next resistance point for the pullback. And where do they pull back to? In this case, again, I think that test of the 200 would have been a good try for a long, but it didn't work out in this case. And we came right back to the tick, the holy orange power level, right? And from there, we get our next breakout. Interestingly enough, on that breakout, they pull back right to our roadmap level and the fast moving average for the next pop. And I think we got just in front of the high of the day before there, and then that was it. The whole thing petered out. So for the last, again, we see this pretty often, the last hour or two of the market there, just kind of meandered back and forth between 50% of the day before and the high of the day before, right? So just back and forth there, nothing too sexy going on, and then right at the end of the day, 2 attempts by the bulls to break out through the high of the day before, only to fail back down, right? So that's how yesterday played out. I think there were some really, really good opportunities on the long side here as we were breaking out to the upside, and some great fade opportunities right out of the open, right off of the 50% level, right? And I'm missing another really good short in here as well. So some really good stuff. And then that brings us here to the overnight session, where, as you can see, we came right to the very level we want to see the bulls stay above. And we got a peak above and fail with a bearish divergence from the major high. So once again, last night, if you wanted to, let's go ahead and take a look at the details here. Globex opens, it pulls back to, or price pulls back to the fast moving average, right? Pretty good opportunity for a long there. And then here is the peak above and fail with bearish divergence. In fact, there were 2 divergences setting up there for the bears. And if you got short last night from around 58.91 there, notice it really very barely got through it by 2 points. And there was the divergence. And if you jumped in there last night, you did capture the whole pullback. So again, a situation where you had maybe maximum 2 points of risk, and the market is now down from there 30 points, right? Give or take a couple ticks. So some good opportunity there. And then all through this overnight session, in the middle of the night here, we see lots of trouble right from the previous daily high, and I think more importantly, the VWAP, right? So they tested and tested this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tests on the short time frames here of VWAP, and then it fails lower, right? And then on the way down, interestingly enough, they come right to the support and resistance level, our roadmap level at 73, to bounce out for a nice 5-point scalp, and then has come down, and now here we are coming back to test right into 50% of yesterday. So it's been a very whipsaw type of market, very two-sided. We have some good bullish cooperation for a little bit, and then the bears jump in, bring us right back down, and it's been kind of a give and take now for a while, trying to break outside of basically the low of last week and the all-time high. So let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames and see what they have to say for this morning.